Hi, my name is Faith Saunders. As many of you know, I am head of the research department here at International Inc. I was asked by our CEO to do a presentation over China and their culture, education, and values for as we plan to integrate ourselves into the Chinese marketplace so that we can do that successfully. So the biggest challenge we're going to face as we integrate ourselves into the Chinese marketplace is the difference between International Inc. here in New York and our company base that we wish to go to in Beijing, China. Now, some of the specifics of Beijing, China, just as an overview, is according to the World Bank, the population of China is currently 1.4 billion people, and their GDP is 10.3 trillion US dollars. They are ranked just under the United States. And the United States is at around $18 trillion. This is good because it means it will be a growing marketplace that we can go into. They also do have a positive GDP growth rate right now of 7.9% according to the World Bank. So that will provide a good marketplace for us to go into. Now, when looking at how we can better incorporate ourselves into the Chinese marketplace, we must first understand the differences between the US and China and how we can overcome those differences or just be aware of them. One of those differences is in our culture and the family life there. The family life is very different there than it is here. Most of the extended family does live together, the grandparents most of the time living with their children. Another big difference is that the family revolves around the children. Especially, I know they just got rid of the one-child policy, but with the one-child policy, they would have the baby, then they would have the grandparents outside of that, and outside of the grandparents was the parents. And the grandparents were expected to come in and care for the child while the parents went back to work. So that made it to where parents could get back to work a lot quicker after having a child. Another big difference between here and China is in their outlook on religion. Religion doesn't really play a part in Chinese daily life. It's regulated by the government, but there really isn't an organized religion. Another big difference is the emphasis they place on education. In the United States, education is just something that you assume you're going to do. You're going to go to high school, you might go to college. It's just assumed. And another difference is high school here is free. In China, after the 8th grade, it is a competitive place. You are taking tests, you're going to school 6 days a week from morning to evening, and you also are paying for your education after 8th grade. You pay for that high school education, and then after that you pay for college, and it's very expensive, and there aren't a lot of government subsidies or scholarships, which is a big difference from the US, where if you make below a certain income, college can be free for you or subsidized. This also translates into their work environment, because if they make it into the work environment, they are very dedicated, hardworking people. They're going to show that in their work life. And that goes into the attitudes of the Chinese people and how that differs from America. Their work ethic is, they are very hardworking, very dedicated. They put quality over quantity. So they will work the average Monday to Friday, 8 hours a day, but they will put a lot of quality into that work hours. Also, a lot of the Chinese life revolves around food. You are expected to go with them and get food. You're expected to go out and get a drink. That's how they do a lot of their deals, is over food. The values are very different. They focus on 5 main things. They focus on food, clothing, using, living, and transportation. And that is how they base their life. It's a very simple, very easy society. And so, as we are going into and expanding our company into China, we need to realize the differences between culture, education, and attitudes. But we also need to realize that though there are a lot of differences, we are still people, and we still revolve around the same things, and we still want to get the job done. So as we work to go into, to move our company forward into China, we just need to take a step back, be appreciative of them, be interested in their culture, learn simple phrases, just show your interest, and the transition for our company will go very smoothly.